Big focus this hour. China is developing world's biggest aircraft carrier that could compete with the USS Gerald R. Ford. China has 3 aircraft carriers, the Soviet vintage Laoyin, the indigenously built Shandong and Fujian. Fujian is now approaching operationality and in fact has also impressed experts with its size, but it lacks nuclear propulsion. Now China then is on its way to build its 4th aircraft carrier. Satellite images in fact of the prototype of China's 4th aircraft carrier, designated type 004, show that it will have nuclear propulsion and also be comparable in size to America's biggest warship. The aircraft carrier, currently under construction at the Dalian Shipyard, is touted as a next generation vessel that will allow fighter jets to be launched from 4 parts of the flight deck. The US Navy's 11 supercarriers can launch aircrafts from 4 places. So far, the 3 Chinese aircraft carriers can launch jets from only 3 parts: from the front, the center, the deck. The 80,000-ton Fujian is the largest then and the world's latest aircraft carrier in the PLA Navy fleet. Aditya Vadavan is joining us for more on this story. Aditya, what do we know about this new aircraft carrier that China is building?
Well, absolutely, Uday. It is a very concerning development, that China is developing a big aircraft flight, aircraft carrier, to match the US Air Force and US Navy. Already we are seeing that, there is an ongoing trade war between United States of America and China, and so hence China is rapidly taking these measures, to counterbalance the United States of America. It is we can expect this. Yeah, there's a sort of a cold war happening between the 2 great economies, two largest economies of the world. One is the United States of America, and the other is China. So China is also imposing, as we know, China is also imposing tariffs on America. So this expanding its military fleet is also in that direction, because a country becomes a big only when it expands its military fleet. It becomes economically big and militarily and politically big. So China is in the People's Liberation Army is also they have increased their violations over Taiwan. They keep they're disrespecting the territorial integrity of Taiwan day in and day out, and all these activities are expected to go up by China, by the People's Liberation Army, be it Air Force or be the Navy. There is significant, because Donald Trump is leaving no stones unturned to to bring China back on knees, because there is a Cold War going. So the situation at the moment is that the aircraft carrier which the China is building will be of high technical, with highly technical laced newer technologies, and this needs to be seen that it will deploy all state-of-the-art technologies while making these aircraft carriers, so as to significantly counter the US Air Force. Yes, that.
All right. In fact, let me quickly also take that across to Group Captain UK Devnath, defense expert, who's also joining us live now. Group Captain Devnath, how should India view these latest satellite images? What do we know about this new vessel, and what is the intention of the Chinese behind commissioning it?
Yes, Uday, very worrisome development for USA and to some extent for India also. Chinese PLA Navy has been very clear in its concept that in another decade or so, it should be able to dominate complete South China Sea and East China Sea. Towards it, it purchased an aircraft carrier, Liaoning from Russia. Then they built Shandong indigenously, and now Fujian, their 3rd aircraft carrier, is almost completed and going to be operational very soon. Now this development of type 004 nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, which will almost be comparable to any US Navy aircraft carrier in size, probably bigger than some of them, is worrisome news for US Navy. You see, Chinese Xi Jinping is very clear that in coming decades they have to dominate West Pacific, almost up to Guam. So in case Guam is a very big US Navy, US Air Force base in middle of Pacific. So in case they have to achieve this ambition, then Xi Jinping needs a nuclear powered aircraft carrier. Will any aircraft carrier of Chinese Navy venture beyond Strait of Malacca into Indian Ocean? Uday, the war gaming scenario shows that probably that may not happen, because any aircraft carrier of Chinese PLA Navy, if it ventures after crossing Java, Sumatra, Borneo, Strait of Malacca into Indian Ocean, will be very, very vulnerable to attacks by Indian naval submarines, by our naval ships, and most important, from Indian Air Force aircraft like Su-30, which are now combined with BrahMos. Chinese Navy is planning to operate many fighter aircraft from these ships, and they have already operationalized operation of aircraft like J-15, J-10 from the aircraft carrier. What is worrisome, again worrisome for US Navy, that they are carrying out trial of J-36, which will be fifth 5.5 generation, almost sixth generation fighter aircraft, which will have stealth properties as well as will be capable of delivering long range rockets and missiles, which will be able to hit US Navy aircraft carriers from a distance of 300 kilometers. So worrisome news for US Navy and Donald Trump. Yes, Uday?
Yes, indeed. Major Mohammad Ali Shah, in fact, Defence